Do you love to travel and save money? Or do you wish you could travel but money is holding you back? You're in the right place. Welcome to the Families Fly Free podcast, where I show you how to fly your family free forever using my simple fly free formula. I'm your host, Lynn Mettler. My family of four has mastered the art of flying free as simply as possible since 2015, and I want to show your family how to do it too. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Families Fly Free podcast. I'm Lynn Mettler. I hope you're having a great week so far. I just got a notification that this podcast has now been going for 3 years, which is awesome. That's hard to believe that we've been doing this podcast for that long, but that's a great milestone. So here we are almost to Thanksgiving, and I know my family is looking forward to our upcoming trip to Disneyland and Universal Studios Hollywood. We're flying free, of course, out to the LA area over the Thanksgiving break. This will be our first time to Disneyland at the holidays, which I'm excited to check out because we have been there during Halloween and it is really amazing during Halloween. And it looks like they kind of just switch things out similarly for the holidays. And of course, one of my favorite rides of all time is Haunted Mansion Holiday, which is a redo of the Haunted Mansion that they only do at Disneyland, not at Disney World, with the theming of the Nightmare Before Christmas, which they run from Halloween to through the end of December, I think. So we've seen it at Halloween and they still have it going. So we can't wait to ride that again. And then we've never been to Universal Studios Hollywood at all. So we're looking forward to that and looking forward to Super Mario World or Land, whatever it's called. I know my boys will enjoy that. And that was even video games that I actually used to enjoy to play. I'm not big on video games, but Super Mario Brothers was always fun. So this week, I want to address the topic of how to keep traveling, how to keep flying free when you are tightening the budget, or you just are at a place where you don't feel like you have any extra money to put toward travel. And the number one reason that folks hesitate to join my family's Fly Free membership is not because of the lack of value we provide, or anything about the content or our support, or that they're unsure that our process works. Instead, we are seeing people who are trying to just be more conservative with their finances, and they don't understand how Families Fly Free is actually a money-saving investment instead of another expense line item in your budget. But I want to show you today how, even when your budget is tight, learning a simple system, be it mine or another one or what you cobble together on your own, learning a simple system to use travel rewards is actually crucial. Like, this is the most important time to employ travel rewards, is when the budget is tight, because it can keep you from having to cancel travel altogether. And what a bummer that is, to know that you don't have trips to look forward to if you're someone who likes to travel. So we have certainly been through tight periods ourselves, even since learning how to fly for free. But it's absolutely incredible to not have to worry about travel as an expense, because you're using points, not money, to pay for it. So even if you have to cut other non-critical expenses, you'll never have to worry about having to stop traveling. So even if it's a difficult period, it's a challenging period where you're needing to tighten things up, you can still travel, because that's not going to cost you anything to fly. You can learn how to stay for free, and you can choose destinations or trips where the other costs, food, activities are minimal, are free, like a national park where it costs next to nothing to go in the national park, but you can explore it for days and days, and you can bring your own food or stop by the local grocery, which would be no more of an expense than you would have at home to prepare your foods. So this is why we have so many people from the financial independent, retire early community who really value, get into, understand, and use travel rewards. That community doesn't want to spend money on travel or anything that's unnecessary because they want to be saving as much as possible toward their retirement so they can retire early. And travel rewards, and specifically our simple system so that you don't get lost in overwhelm and confusion and taking tons of time. This allows them to keep saving for retirement, but still travel by paying with miles and points instead. And so it's the very same concept if you're trying to tighten the belt. So today, let's talk about how you can collect travel rewards, even if you're in this situation and you're trying to spend less. And I want to make some suggestions for how you can also pay for My Family's Fly Free membership if you don't feel like you have that money to invest right now. So first of all, when it comes to collecting travel rewards, you don't have to spend any more than your regular everyday expenses to fly for free. A lot of people are under the assumption that you have to spend a lot in order to earn a lot of points, or in order to earn enough points to be able to fly for free. And of course, some people still think that you actually have to pay for flights in order to collect miles, frequent flyer miles to fly for free. And neither one of those are true. You don't need to spend any more than you're already spending, just the expenses you have right now. Even if you need to cut expenses, that's fine. We find that particularly our system works. You collect the number of points that you end up needing based on the amount you're spending. You're going to spend more if you're a family of 6 and you have kids in daycare that you have to pay for, and you have more grocery expenses and more insurance expenses, and they need more points, that family of 6. But a retired couple may be on a limited budget, but a retired couple under our system almost a good bit of the time literally needs to have points for one person to travel. And we'll talk more about this, but when you learn how to stretch your points, you don't need as many points to fly for free. You can fly more places with fewer points. So when it comes to expenses, again, you don't have to spend any more than you already are, but what you need to do is leverage what you are spending by learning how to earn points on that spending that you're doing anyway. And you do this by applying for and or using one travel card for your day-to-day spending. And we recommend a flexible travel card whose points can be used in a variety of ways, not just points that can be used at a particular hotel chain or on a particular airline. We also recommend you choose a flexible card that earns more points per dollar on the things you purchase the most. And so maybe that's groceries, maybe it's dining, maybe it's gas, whatever it is. You're going to want to consider that when choosing your flexible card so that you can maximize the number of points you're earning for these purchases that you have to make anyway. So inside Families Fly Free, we teach you the cards that we like best, that are the simplest to work with in order to always be able to fly everybody for free. And then we make a recommendation specific to your family's situation. Now, don't put your spending on a debit card if you find yourself needing to spend less. You're just doing yourself no favors. You're only doing the bank favors when you do that. You earn 0 points for that. So make sure that you use a flexible travel rewards card, but just pay that card off frequently. Of course, always before the due date, so you don't owe any interest, because we're not trying to add expenses to your budget to this time. And we never want anyone to pay interest, or certainly high interest, which often comes with some of these cards. And so my recommendation is always, if you find at the end of the month you don't have money in the bank to cover what's due on the card, pay the card off every day or every couple of days. And I know Chris on our team, in the podcast where I interviewed him, he is someone who's financially independent and went through that journey, but he created a spreadsheet, and then he just entered in all of his expenses that he put on the card as he was going through the month, and he knew how much that he could spend, and he just made sure he didn't go over that. And then he still paid it, before the due date. So there's different ways you can do that to make sure that you still have money in the bank to cover what you need to pay on the card without paying any interest. But what you are doing is you're earning free points on spending you're doing anyway, and those points can fund your free travels. Your expenses, leveraging your expenses, can fund your free travels. Now, I also want to advise you that in tight times, be very, very careful to protect your credit. Your credit is a huge asset if you want to fly and travel for free, because you're going to need to have good credit to maximize your ability to earn travel rewards to fly and travel for free. And we're not saying that you need to open a bunch of cards and that's why you need to have good credit. We're just saying that you do need to have a couple of cards under our system, 3 maximum, to do our system in full, in order to be able to simply and easily fly and travel for free. And if you can't hold credit cards because you don't have good credit, then you have essentially eliminated your ability to use travel rewards. There's other ways to collect them. And we certainly recommend doing that, but that's not going to be enough to sustain your free travels. It's more icing on the cake on top of what you're earning through your everyday spending with travel cards. So do your very best to pay your bills on time, and check out my podcast episode number 88 on how to boost your credit score. If you find yourself in a very tight situation and you need to know what bills to pay first and what bills to pay last to protect your credit, if you just don't have enough to pay them all. And one payment you want to really watch during this period is your mortgage. So if you have a mortgage, late mortgage payments or missed mortgage payments become a huge hazard to your credit very fast, and it takes several years for those late payments or missed payments to fall off. So do the best you can to take care of that first. And if there's anybody that you can't pay on time, make yourself call them and see if you can work out a new payment plan with them before late payments get reported to the credit bureaus. It's very hard to do that if you're in this situation because you don't really want to look it in the face. But if you don't, you're going to hurt yourself even more. So just make yourself call and see if you can work out. Most people are willing to work with you if you just let them know. See if you can work out a new payment plan to, or even just a payment plan in general. Like if it's a medical bill and you don't have enough to cover it, call them, and usually they'll work with you to set up a payment plan so you can pay it off slowly over time. You just don't want late payments to get reported to the credit bureaus, especially not mortgage payments. So a second thing that you want to be doing to keep traveling, flying for free when you're spending less is ensuring that you always have a Southwest companion pass and fly Southwest Airlines. And if you have a companion pass, this means that you never have to pay points or dollars, of course, for one member of your family to fly for free on any flight you take, as many flights as you want to take on Southwest Airlines. And just that one thing alone, that falls into what's the one thing I can do, to keep traveling for free. And that would be one of the big ones. That's going to stretch your points a lot farther, allowing you to take more trips, because again, with my family of 4, I only need to pay points for 3 people instead of for 4 people. And on any other airline, I'm going to pay more points for the flight, most likely, significantly more. And I'm going to have to be paying it for 4 people instead of 3. And so just that right there, saving the cost of points of one person time and time again, helps stretch your points hugely. And there's lots of other ways to stretch your points as well, but that's a big one. And we are masters here at Families Fly Free at earning the companion pass quickly and efficiently. We help hundreds and hundreds of people do this every single year, and to do it, as I said, in the quickest, most efficient way possible. And even if you think you can't earn a companion pass for some reason or another, you probably can. And we can probably help you figure that out. It's just understanding the ins and outs of the different rules and regulations and what options that you have. But we can almost always help everyone get a companion pass in hand and have one always going forward and have it last for almost 2 full years. So we'd love to give you a step-by-step plan inside of Families Fly Free to make sure that you get that pass in hand and that you don't make any mistakes with it. And again, this is a great time of year to line up your pass for early next year, because the way it works is it's good from the time you earn it until the end of the following year. So if you get it early in 2024, it's going to be good all the way through till December 31st of 2025. And that might be enough to get you through your tough time period. And that's going to give you more than 100,000 points that you can use to book everyone else in your family for free. And then your companion's going to be added for no points at all. And so that might be enough to get your family on free flights for the next 2 years, particularly if you follow all of our different techniques for how to pay fewer points for every flight. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about that. Learn how to stretch your points. So if you're not spending as much, you may not accrue as many points, as I mentioned earlier. But my system is about 50% teaching you how to maximize earning points, and then 50% learning how to pay fewer points per flight. And a lot of how to pay fewer points per flight is just not taught out in the world, not on blogs or articles or podcasts or videos. It's more focused on how do I constantly earn more points, which that's why it becomes difficult, because you're being forced into this corner of having to open new cards because you don't ever have enough points, because you don't know how to stretch your points and pay fewer points per flight. So if you can just learn this half of the equation, that in itself really simplifies travel rewards. So, if you can pay fewer points for every flight, that means you can take more trips on the same number of points. And that means less points collecting, which makes it all easier. So this can include many techniques, but some examples include checking to see if the price of a flight on Southwest has dropped after you booked it and getting points back. If so, booking flights during good sales. And I have watched Southwest sales for many, many, many years now. And so we have a good understanding of what's a good sale and what isn't, and when the good sales come around. And we're always sharing that information with our members so they know when they need to book and when it's not so great of a sale. And it's worth checking, but they're probably not going to see any good deals. It can include, of course, holding a Southwest Companion Pass, and then playing the always changing hacks of your favorite airline, and so many other techniques. But there's always hacks to play, and they're always changing. And so just having an expert who understands those and stays on top of them for you, and being part of a community of hundreds of other people who are playing these different tricks and hacks and how it's working for them and what they are learning on a day-to-day basis. It's just the collective wisdom of many. Okay, fourth, this may not be the best time to be opening many new travel cards if you're finding yourself needing to tighten the belt. And the good news is that following our system, you don't have to. You do need to have a couple of cards in place, and that's why you need to maintain that credit score. But you might already have them. You just don't want to get yourself in debt on those cards, not be able to pay it off. So we want to watch that. So you might already have some of them. So you just need to have these couple of cards in place and simply understand which cards to use when. That's a big part of it also. and what's the best card for your everyday spending, because that's where you're going to earn a lot of your points. Now, let's talk about if you're interested in joining Families Fly Free, but you don't feel like you have the money in the budget to join. So let me make a couple of suggestions here. First of all, if you will be flying in the next year, think about that amount of money. What would that be? And where would that money come from? How would you pay for that? So use that source of money to join Families Fly Free instead, because you're going to know that you will get those flights for free. So you're not going to need the funds to pay for those flights. And then on top of that, you're going to now have a system that you can put on autopilot once you learn it to get all future flights for free and in a very simple way. So it's worth taking the money that you would spend on your next set of flights and investing that in Families Fly Free instead, because you still get those flights taken care of, but you also learn a system to save you thousands and thousands of dollars and allow you to keep traveling going forward by teaching you how to fly for free forever. All right. Second, a lot of our members had a travel budget set aside. So that was just a line item in their budget. They set aside a certain amount of money every month and they had that fund built up. And they would do that even if they were on a tight budget. They still allocated some, even if it was a small amount toward that. And so we've had a lot of members who just joined and used their travel budget funds to become Families Fly Free members. Again, with that same understanding that they're not going to need that money for travel because they'll be using points. And inside Families Fly Free, of course, you're going to learn how to fly for free, but we're also going to teach you our techniques for how to stay for free. And if you're going to fly 6 times a year, you're probably not going to be able to stay for free 6 times a year, but you should be able to stay for free at least a couple of those times. And if you're on a tight budget, if you're in tight times, you may just want to travel, a couple times a year. And so if that's the case, you should have plenty of points to be able to take care of the flights and take care of whether it be a vacation rental or a timeshare for very, very cheap, or getting a hotel stay for free. So you really just need to worry about dining, activities. And as I mentioned earlier, those you can take care of as either choose free activities and then make your own food, particularly if you stay at a vacation rental. And then car rentals might be the other thing. And we do have good information about how to save on car rentals. But again, you might opt to do something like a big city where you can travel on the subway or something like that for very, very minimal cost where you wouldn't need a car. All right. The third suggestion I want to make is to use a travel card that offers a 0% interest rate for a period of months. So I really like, and what I recommend to people that want to break Families Fly Free into payments is to use or apply for a card like Chase Freedom Unlimited or the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited or Chase Inc. Business Cash cards. Those offer 0% interest on all purchases that you make for the first 12 to 15 months. So Chase Freedom Unlimited is for 15 months, and then the business versions of those two, the Inc. Business Unlimited and Cash, are 12 months. But realize that, of course, the interest rate goes up very high after that period. And so you wouldn't want to carry balance beyond that. But that lets you go ahead and take care of the purchase now and break the payment up into 12 or 15 months, or you can do it faster than that, whatever works for you and for your budget, so that you can pay off your travels basically over time instead of having to put down a chunk all at once. So, and we love, these are great cards. They earn points that work well with our system. They earn Chase Ultimate Rewards points. And that would be a great option, I think, for you to be able to keep traveling for free and not have to pay the investment, the cost of membership all at once. Okay, and then one more would be, we are at the holidays, so you can use money given as a gift for the holidays or for a birthday or for some other occasion, knowing that you're gifting your family with even more when you use money you've been gifted this way. You would be giving your family the gift of free travel for the rest of your lives, really, and endless memories that you will make together. Because once you learn the system, you're going to know it forever. And you're going to be able to implement it going forward. So we've had several members who were given the membership as gifts from family members. And then they renewed because they saw how valuable the membership was to them after a year. And their family members just wanted to give them this gift because they wanted to see them be able to travel more. And they saw the value in it. So there's never a more important time to learn the skill of earning and using travel rewards to fly for free as a time when money is tight. It enables you to keep traveling no matter what the budget is, because it will cost you nothing to fly and you can learn how to stay for free too. And it's such a gift to you and your family during tight times to still be able to do these fun things together and have these trips to look forward to. And if Disney's on your list and that's something you would really like to do and you feel like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive now, totally out of the budget. I agree with you. It is very expensive. But we even have a way that you can do Disney for free literally from start to finish, including flights, your accommodations, even at Disney resorts if you want, your park tickets, your dining, and we can even show you how to do souvenirs for free. And so we teach that inside of my Meet the Mouse program, which is a different program from Families Fly Free. But you can learn if you're just interested in the Disney portion. So you can learn more about Families Fly Free and Meet the Mouse, both of them, at familiestravelfree.com. So don't despair if you find yourself in this situation. We have all been there. You don't have to stop traveling and you don't have to stop having fun and making memories together. We have got the answer. Have a great week. If you're ready to fly your family free forever, I invite you to join my Families Fly Free membership. You'll learn how to stop paying for airfare throughout the US, Caribbean, and Europe so you can make those priceless family travel memories before your kids or even your grandkids leave home for good. And you'll learn it using my simple, proven formula that's helped hundreds of families. Plus, it's risk-free. You either get your investment in the membership back in free travel, or I give you your money back. You can get more information at familiesflyfree.com/join.